Hey there guys, so today we have another review and we're coming at you from Sapwood Cellars. So this is a relatively new brewery created by Michael Tonsmeyer and Scott Janish, two very famous beer bloggers, and yeah, they're doing some hazy stuff and getting great reviews. And actually what I have over here is Cheater Hops number 7. So Cheater Hops obviously is a reference to some of the cheater hops out there, and they're going back to Simcoe, Mosaic, and Citra. So this is the original hop combo from number 1 with different base and grist and yeast. So it smells pretty awesome. Beer comes in, it doesn't have that much of a dense haze. It has a light to medium gold color. It has a medium plus haze to it. Not completely opaque, slightly yellowish head. My first take on the beer. It smells fantastic. I mean, immediately reminds me of some of the Hill Farmstead Treehouse-ish. I get melon, tangerine. Oh, well, they're giving tasting notes too. So they're calling out grapefruit, tangerine, passion fruit. A little bit of that kind of yeasty character, probably a good amount of possibly beet or oats. Smells pretty awesome. Cheers. 7.2% by the way. Wow. Nice and creamy up front. A little bit of doughiness and breadiness coming in. They call it a balanced, piney hop note on the back end. They do like their kind of like whirlpool edition, I think, for bittering, and a little bit of that beautiful creamy texture. Wow, reminds me a little bit of the Hill Farmstead beers, a little bit of the New Park beers. Definitely New England, but then with that like pine edge to it, a little bit West Coast and dank. Very good. And then there's that beautiful kind of a New England textured thing too, not overly sweet, but that like silky quality. Again, assumption of possibly oats or wheat in here. So it's a less expressive strain than the English ale, which makes a little bit more sense. Not completely juicy, ester-driven like Treehouse. A little bit more neutral, yeah. And it'll really allowing that pine in the back end to shine. Great beer as rated. It's very good. It is very good. I like the balance of yin and yang of this one. And 97. Very exciting. We'll dig into the next one soon. Until next time, cheers. Hey there guys, so now I am back. We're still at Sapwood Cellars, and this is another New England IPA. This is Hop Swirl, so this is their extra New Englandy IPA. It's a combination of Sabro and Citra. Sabro, a new exciting hop that has brilliant, wonderful coconutty kind of flavors, which is not something you generally get from hops. So, yeah, quite nice. Has a little bit of that coconut cream pie kind of thing. Combination with Citra being quite fruity. Yeah, a little bit of that dusty thing. Citra these days, to me, comes off a little bit more dank than really the pure essence of what it used to be, which is a huge expressive tropical hop. But there's some of that going on. There's ripe kind of passion fruit dancing in there, and straight into the flavor. Speaking of that beers, by the way, beautiful beers. It's this like light, not full opaque haze to it, beautiful yellow, orangish kind of glow, and yeah, just a classic kind of like OG New England kind of appearance instead of that kind of sludgy, kind of bright straw almost, and almost juice looking thing. This has a beery kind of like golden hue to it. So this is not a huge Sabro bomb, excuse me. Follows on the palate. It has that lingering kind of grassy green citra thing that I get a lot these days. The tropical fruits up front are quite nice. It has a little bit of that pina colada, pineapple, coconut thing. The expression of the Sabro is not as dominant as some beers, where it really sings of like almost suntan lotion. This is passion fruit, mango slices, maybe a little bit of stone fruit. A little bit of malt in the middle, and possibly also tasting a little bit of water treatment coming in. Not chalky, but just a little bit of that going on, having a little edge. I like it just like snaps away during the middle. It doesn't have that huge body and stickiness to it, which I'm really enjoying about these beers. Excuse me. And then I'm just trying to express so many words. And then lack of bitterness, super New Englandy. It's awesome. Soft, creamy. Shows a slight tone of biscuit, possibly. Just lingers and lingers. Quite nice, absolutely fantastic. Not really East Coast meets West Coast like last year with the cheater hops. This is straight up New England. But again, just reminds me of those OG kind of beers. The immediate thought for me is like old school Lawson's, Hill Farmstead. And then, yeah, just you knew when IPA was like this, but sometimes you do get beers that are just a little less blatant on the palate of like viscous and sweet and cloying and creamy and attack the tongue. This has that like fruit attack up front, but then like glides away quickly. A little bit of that early Trillium kind of thing going on as well, so very nice. And as you wait more, get like a medium minus bitterness here. As you wait more, that Sabro sort of shines a little bit more, and you get that toasted raw coconut candy kind of thing that dances in. So very good. This one's even better. 98. Absolutely amazing. Sapwood Cellars, killing it. Cheers, guys. Hey there. So we are back with final couple sips of Sapwood Cellars. And so this, I got a nice sample, thank you to the bartender. And I got Meltdown Mango. So this is part of the fruited hop series, fruited sour series. It is a mixed ferment lacto with a strain known for stone fruit aromatics. I guess an ale strain, or it could be fake. I don't know. 1.5 pounds per gallon of mango puree and then dry hopped with Simcoe. So just got a little sample on the nose. Almost looks like tart guava, unripened mango thing, not really big and sweet. A little bit of wheat, a little bit of that crackery wheat thins kind of sweetness. Smells quite nice. Cheers. .4%. Definitely not your traditional like tart Berliner. It's almost like a fruity wheat ale. Yeah, that's what I'd call it, a fruity wheat ale. But acidity's very light on this one. Tart would be even a push, I'd say. It's like verging on the difference between American wheat and like sour, or like kettle sour. It's like really right in that weird space. I feel like it could maybe use a little bit more acidity, not that fruity, and then there's a little bit of that kind of like lingering like mango flesh thing. But it's weird because usually I get it on the back end and it like burns the throat. This one sort of like lingers on the tongue, itchy a little bit, which is fine. So it's actually not as bad as that big attack you get on the back with some of these mango beers. Quite decent, yeah. Not bad. That would get I personally would get it somehow a little bit more juicy, a little bit more fruity, and then a little bit more tart. That's sort of where I like it. So 88. Then this one's fun. This is called Salzig. This is their take on an authentic Goza from Leipzig, and so it actually has a clean ale yeast strain, but it also uses a unique strain of Brettanomyces. Most people use just straight lacto kettle sour. Traditionally, it was a mixed ferment beer with Brettanomyces as well. Sometimes sort of like a coupage where they would like blend two threads of the beer, or they would, ferment it at the same time with ale and bread and lacto, etc., etc. So there are different ways of doing it. This one is both ale and the Berliner Weiss, Brettanomyces from actually a brewery in Germany that is Wildener Wasser. So I actually didn't know that was one of the breweries that was still producing Goza. And then obviously with lactobacillus and then coriander salt, traditional. So it's quite nice. Sea salts, kind of like sea coriander floral Goza thing, wheat. It just smells like Goza. The bread on there or the use of lacto actually gives it a little bit of complexity. Not baby diaper, but a little bit. Yeah. There's a little bit of that weird funk going on. So possibly from the bread, sure. On the palate, quite coriander laden. Dries with coriander throughout the palate. A little bit of sea salt dancing on the back end. Light acidity. More sour than... Slightly more sour than the mango, but barely. This is tart at most. So, again, in the range of like session bowl wheat ale, then really goes like Westbrook is just like on the dominant end. This is probably on the lower end, and arguably a little bit more traditional. Sort of the traditional Berliner or German Gozas have sort of have this kind of more wheat ale coriander beer than really sour. All right, yeah, a little bit of that soft water profile comes in, or you get that water profile in the middle. Yeah, cleansing kind of quality to it. Almost has like a light, salty, just drinking water, and then the wheat comes up front, a little bit of salt, coriander laden. On the palate, not really tasting that right, but it's possibly just floating around there, offering complexity. It's quite delicious beer, just a summer crusher. Again, my preference always a little bit more acidic, but it's a crushable beer. And actually, now I think of it, it reminds me a little bit of Jam Ragosa. Very coriander laden, light on the acidity. Very, very close to that beer, but I, for some reason, like this one a little bit more because I find maybe the washing away of that water thing that hits on the palate is actually quite nice. So, refreshing beer. Let's go with the 91 on this one. But if you're a fan of the Jam Ragosa from 6 Point, this is the closest thing you're going to get, and if anything, it's even better. So, try it out. This is Celsic. This is Sapwood Cellars. Absolutely fantastic. Amazing beer. Until next time, guys. Cheers. Later.